Hello and welcome to our 10 years anniversary podcast series. Today we have a great guest, and of course, she needs no introduction. She's been with the community for so long and she's done so much activity around awareness and spreading the word on training and others that you are probably quite familiar with her as well. So this is Bahar. She's been involved with the community for a long time. And first of all, hello, Bahar, and thank you very much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. This is exciting.
Very good. It's very exciting. It's exciting for me too. So, Bahar, tell us a little bit of how you got involved. I know that you got involved with the community and you've been involved for some time, even before you decided to make this your full-time career, HPCC Systems and the community advocacy. So how did it start?
I actually started right after college. After I graduated with my master, towards the end of my graduation, I was trying to see which area I fit in the best. So I started looking into different industry type of work, and then I got introduced to a big data project that was working with health IT and patient information and medication information. And I worked on a temporary, and I said, this is it. I love big data. And then I started digging around for companies that do big data. And then my school was doing one of those career fairs. So I landed with LexisNexis desk, and I talked to them and I said, I already have big data experience and I love it. So the next thing I know, I got a call from them and said, can we talk to you this afternoon? And I said, sure. So the next thing I did, Flavio, you're not going to believe this, I actually went online and started studying and writing notes about Thor and Roxy and the amount of data and the products, and I tried to memorize all of it.
That is very good. That's a great story.
I wanted to do. So I actually had my interview with Mark Chambers, and when he was talking to me, I'm like, I'm going off my memory and my experience at the same time, and then that's how I ended up with LexisNexis a couple of years back, and I still love it.
That is very good. That is great. And then, of course, you move across different areas until you just found your core niche, which is in the HP Systems platform area.
Yes. Yes.
So tell me about a little bit about your. I know that you have been involved with a number of activities, and many of those around awareness and spreading the word and getting people engaged with HP Systems, and not just with the platform, but also with the community, with integrations, with the projects. So tell me a little bit about all of that. I think there is a lot of rich content there.
Right. So as you said, I started this as a side work along with my own LexisNexis work, and I started working with schools and working with high school, trying to reach out to community, trying to talk about what we do, trying to talk about HPCC, and I did it for a couple of months, and then I realized that this is a fun job to do because I interact with people. I talk about all the cool things we do in this company and the platform itself. So after a couple of months, and you're somewhat aware of what I've done too during that couple of months, I slowly moved in completely, and I took the role of being the technology evangelist and try to reach out to our community and talk about what a good platform we have here and what are all the things that we're capable of doing in LexisNexis and HPCC platform.
Very good. And tell me a little bit about, do you have any funny experiences from some of those events where you talk to people and, I don't know, some highlights from things that you have done? I know that you've been participating in a number of events, that you have done a number of hackathons, that you've been involved with even currently involved with teaching directly in Kennesaw State University. So tell me a little bit, are there any interesting experiences there?
Well, the interesting part of it to me is that because you're always dealing with different crowd, different people that are excited about to learn the system, excited to learn about the technology and what we do, and they're coming with many different backgrounds to you. So they come with their own mindset, their own experience level. So when they talk to you, they always talk about something that in the back of your mind, like, I need to look into it more. So it's always a learning, continuous learning education for me. And this is happening on almost every time I interact with the students, and they ask me questions. It makes me thinking, and I go and look into it. So to me, the exciting part of my job is that there's always something to learn. There's always something new to look into and learn from it and feel good about it.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably a constant in life, but it's far more important in technology, right?
Yes.
And at the pace it moves, there is always something new.
Agree. And to me, that this is amazing because as part of my job, I think I got lucky with this job because again, I talk to a variety different of people that come with different experiences and backgrounds. So I get to see more and learn more from them. Hopefully they're learning from me too.
Oh, of course, well, that's the human condition. It's being able to teach each other. That's
Yeah.
as we interact. So, Bahar, I know that you're currently involved in a number of activities. You mentioned before you are teaching in Kennesaw State University, and you have been also an integral part of some of the hackathon activities as well, and others. So, tell me a little bit more about these activities. So, what's going on in the HPCC training and awareness front?
Okay, so what we do, as you said, we work with a number of different type of universities, and we do from small, like an hour or two workshop to a couple of days long hackathons, and it's or a week long workshop. And again, it's with different colleges and universities. And currently, as you mentioned, I'm teaching a full-time semester class in big data and HPCC at KSU. And the class itself is 16 weeks long, and all we talk about is big data, HPCC, how do you learn about big data, what are the things involved with big data, what are the main concepts and important things that you need to learn about it, what is the HPCC platform and how you write it and how you handle it. So that will be the Kennesaw course itself. But the hackathons are usually, the way we go about the hackathons is that we come up with a problem that the students need to solve. We provide the platform, we provide the data set, we provide the challenge, and then most oftentimes students don't know much about big data, nor about HPCC. So we go in, we start providing materials, we try to walk them through how to solve problems, we're there to help them answer the questions, and then at the end of the hackathon, they solve the problem with us helping them just with the material and the questions they have. They do the presentation, and the winner usually get a really good prize.
Of course.
Yes.
But you know what? I think to me, one of the biggest satisfactions is when I participate in one of these activities, and then I perhaps over time, a few years later, I meet someone that was part of an activity, and they tell me how great it was, or how much they learned, or maybe they picked a career based on that type of activity. So the fact that all of these things have an impact in the lives of people, positive impact, is also quite important. And you know, we're always pushing to get more diversity across technology. Unfortunately, technology is a not very diverse field. So we need to get more women, we need to get more people from different backgrounds. And some of these activities are really driving that, particularly when we are specifically focused on, for example, on women, on girls. So you've been also doing some of these, right?
True. And you're absolutely right about what you said, because let's start with me. I got involved with a big data project that was an HPCC, and I said, I love big data, so I'm going to put my focus on big data. Same goes for students. They usually, when we talk about them, as you know, big data is such a new topic out there that a lot of people don't know much about it. So when we go and say, here's big data and here's you can solve problem, and we have the platform, we have everything you need to do the work, they get really excited about it because it's something that to them, most of them don't have prior knowledge for that. So this is exciting to them that, oh, there's this part of the industry that we know almost nothing about, and that's very exciting to them. So I agree with what you just said.
Well, it is good that some universities are starting to change, and the KSU course is a good example of that, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at some of the more traditional universities, the ones that are more legacy when it comes to teaching, they teach the traditional concepts in computer science, software engineering, but they don't get into big data or machine learning or artificial intelligence, which are really prevalent topics in industry today. So when those kids get out of school and they are looking for a job, many times they are lacking some of the important skills that those jobs might require.
Agree, and that's what we're offering to them, because we're saying this is an industry focused material. So these are industry focused. So we're not coming from theory-based and saying A plus B might be equal to C. We're going to say, these are real-world examples. These are the things that are happening on a daily basis. These are, when I talk to the students, especially in the class, I say, I focus on the things that I experienced, for example, myself during the work. And I say, these are the things that you're going to face. These are the things you need to be prepared for. These are the concepts that is going to come to you when you're actually in a real job. So think about those and try to get them outside the mindset of what's in a Java book or C++ book. And I say, those are not going to, those are useful, but when you are in the real job and facing real problems, those are not going to be applicable for you to have a proper solution for it. So when I do that, as you mentioned, I constantly go back and say, when you're in a real job, this is a situation you're going to face, and these are the things you need to know about. And I constantly go back to them and refer to them. And one of the things that I'm doing in this class is that, because we wanted to be industry focused, because we wanted to show them what actually happens in real world, is that I'm inviting guest speakers from our company that they come with their own area of expertise, and they talk about what they're good at it, and they show them what actually happens in real world at the same time too, which they love.
Well, and there is always in my mind, every time you are teaching something, there are two things that are happening at the same time. You're, of course, conveying technical concepts, and hopefully those students will learn them. But there is also something that is intangible happening there, and it's the fact that those students identify themselves with you. So you become in some way a mentor, a role model, right? So they see you and they see themselves in the future doing the things, which is extremely powerful to make them like what they are teaching, right? If you are a good role model, they will be more likely to really get interested in the topic and learn about it. If you're not a good role model, they will say, "Oh, I hate that topic. That's bad." But it's not that they hate the topic; they just don't identify themselves with the teacher, with someone that is in front of them trying to convey that, right? So.
You're absolutely, as you mentioned, we need more female in this industry. So me going out there and say, look at me, I'm a female, I'm doing this, and I'm excited about what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing. So they can look at me and say, if she can do it, so can I. So as you said, being a role model and being excited about what you're doing actually plays an important role in their future as well.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's also extremely important, and I wish we could have more women that can do this type of things. Unfortunately, sometimes when we do these things and we start by trying to get people in college or in grad school, it is okay, and that can still get more people interested in these topics. But I think it's more important to try to get even people that are in earlier stages in their lives, in high school, for example. So they can think that a career in computer science or software engineering or big data or artificial intelligence is a career that they can that can be close to them. In many cases, many of these kids don't know anyone that has done that, or they think that because it's not, I don't know, sometimes they see that it's not cool, or maybe it's not a career for a girl. And they're all misconceptions, right?
Yeah, and we do that. I'm pretty sure you're aware of it, that we do, as part of the program, we do reach out to high schools. We do coordinate with other outside the company that work with high school kids, middle school kids. We do workshop for them. We do presentation for them, because as you said, the early on they can get introduced and involved and see the opportunities, the better they can plan for the future too. And that plays a great important deal in their life.
Yeah, absolutely. So, unfortunately, we need to start wrapping up, because otherwise it's going to get too long. Bahar, tell me a little bit about the future. Do you have any plans for other activities in the next few months? What's coming down the road? I think that I'm sure there are other things that are coming out there, but with the 8.0 release of the platform just coming down end of Q1 and all that, I'm sure there are other things that are starting to appear, right, for activities?
Yeah, as you said, as part of the release of what we're going to do for the next couple of months is that, as I said, we talk and work with a couple of universities and high school programs that work with high school. So the next couple of months, we actually expand the program a little bit more. There are other universities that have heard about us through Board of Advice and things that we've done in the past, and they reached out to us and they want to work with us. So those are in an immediate future to start talking to other universities and expand this program and introduce students and outside the community to big data and HPCC platform and what they can do with big data.
So just one last question. Because things are not normal today, and because unfortunately we, with COVID and the pandemic, we've been forced to change in the way we do things. I'm sure this also changed the way you deliver some of these courses. And I know that you're doing face-to-face training on the Minnesota State University course, but in other cases you changed to doing them online. So how does the change impact these courses? Do you think that it's more effective, less effective? Are there any tricks of the trade that you use to make them work?
Well, it is more challenging because you typically work with a younger crowd. So if they're struggling, they're usually on the shy side. They're not going to speak up. When you're face to face, you can see the struggle in their faces. You can go out and help them. But when it's online, especially with cameras off, you don't have much connection with them. You don't know what's happening on the other side of your laptop. So that's the challenging part of it, because you're preaching to a crowd that you necessarily don't know if everybody is with you on the same page or not. That's something you actually aim for. That's your goal, to make sure that the ones that are having a hard time understanding it get enough of my time, enough explanation so they can understand it. And I think that the solution for that would be to actually have the role name, the list next to you, and just go down the enrollment list and start calling names and say, do you have any questions, or let me see your result? And then what I do constantly is that I always say that if you have a problem speaking up in a classroom virtual, because everybody can see it, privately message me and then I'll read it and I'll try to help you out. So that would give them some confidence that if I'm not confident enough to speak out loud and say I can't figure this out, they might be able to reach me privately and say, help me. And they actually use it quite often, but the ones that, because their faces aren't there for me to figure out if they can solve it or not.
Well, so that's a great idea. I like that. So you're right. Private messages probably let those people that are a little bit more introverts, or they don't want to interrupt the class or something, at least to message you and get the extra piece of knowledge. But because, as you said, what you don't want is people to just get completely checked out, right? Oh, I don't understand this. I can't understand it, so I'm not going to pay attention anymore. And that's the end of it, right? If you get people in that state, then it's very hard to bring them back.
Yeah, because to me, the goal is to say everybody can do this. It's not just for the smart, sharp one. It's for everybody that, yes, you might struggle right now, but if you keep working on it, you will get better at it. You will get the concept of it. So those people are your focus. The smart ones, you're going to get it in 2 minutes. The ones that are struggling, or the younger ones, or the shy ones, are the one that you want to say, you got my attention. Let me help you with this.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, Bahar, this has been a great pleasure.
I
really enjoyed it. We need to, unfortunately, time is short here, so we need to cut it now. But this was great. I'm sure we will be talking again in the future. And this, I think, was a great episode for our 10 years anniversary as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll talk later.
Happy 10th anniversary, everyone.
Happy 10th anniversary, yes.
Thank you.